Hello, welcome to my video. Today we're going to cover three subjects. We're going to talk about rights of someone coming into your property. Second one is service accommodation in London. What's happening? It's a good question. And lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about stamp duty in this video. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe, share and comment and put your questions down. So we start off rights in your property. Look, there's been an article brought out. There is already a discussion and there have been changes to legislation in that tenants with animals, with pets, well-behaved, inverted commas, well-behaved pets, they're saying that landlords cannot just make a rash decision and say no pets. You have to give a logical reason. So it's up in a high-rise flat, or it's in a flat, there's no room, there's no garden, etc, etc, and they're starting to push this. All right, so they're starting to say, look, people with pets, they love, I think it obviously, look, let's look at the logical reason why they're doing this. People are going a bit scatty now with the lockdown. They really are. Look, I love my golf. I've been out hitting balls in the garden. I'm so fed up. I need to get back on that golf course. I put so much weight on. I'm starting a weight loss thing. I'm going to lose weight. I've got to lose 2 stone. I put 2 stone on. Guys, if you want to join me on a weekly thing, we set a group up or something. Let's do a little bit of challenge. Who wants to lose 2 stone with me over the next few months? And we'll do it. And it's good doing it together. So if you want to join a little group with me, contact me on my email and we can lose some weight together and a bit of fun doing it. All right, might do a little challenge or something to encourage people along. But we are completely messed up with lockdown, most of us. Even though we're working hard, it's still just really frustrating. We can't go out for dinner, we can't have friends round and everything, and I see all of this. However, when you're looking at bringing a pet, because people love their pets now. My daughter said, Dad, please can we have a dog? I keep saying no, because I grew up with animals. Honestly, we had a Great Dane, loved our Great Dane. She was called Portia, and I found her when she passed away. She was 13 and a half when she passed, and we had her for my puppy. Beautiful dog. We had a Great Dane, 9 cats, a sheep, 2 steers and a heifer. They are when I was growing up, and I worked on a farm from 13 years old. It's a part-time job, milking cows and doing all sorts of stuff. So I've worked with pets. I've got no problem. I love animals, but unless you have the time to put into an animal, I don't want to have an animal, because it's a huge responsibility. You can't go anywhere easily, and I love pets. I love them. When we had our pets, I love them dearly, and what hurt most, and you'll know if you're a pet owner, is when they go, and they go a lot quicker than we normally do as well. So that's one of the reasons I hate getting too attached and then we lose them. But look, tenants who have pets, I think, is this the pathway? Now the question is for you. So legislation started to change that landlords can't have to give a bit of a moral reason, but ultimately the decision is still the landlords at this time. There may well be a petition coming and another paper coming which is saying, look, we want the right to have my pet going into rented accommodation. What do you think? And if that is the case, then the decision could be taken out of the landlord. Now, legislation hasn't changed. It does clearly state that if the animal, if your tenant's pet damages the property, guess what? You can sue. But hang on a second. What about all the rent that I lose when it's empty? Now, I'm only playing devil's advocate both sides. I understand that someone loves their pet and they might be a great tenant. And with our properties, we don't take pets. We just don't take them. I've had people offer to pay more, extra £25 a week or a month or whatever, so they can bring their pets. No, we don't do it. On a short-term let essays, yes, we've got no problem. We discuss first. We had someone recently had 5 dogs. They wanted to come in like that. But, it's a difficult one. if cats, growing up with cats, I know they claw everything. Dogs, in general, dogs are fantastic. But if you're a dog owner, you and I both know that it's all down to the owner. Okay, now LBC was doing a program on the radio a few years back, and I phoned in and I had a chat with them because there are 4 dogs on the Dangerous Dog Act, and my comments were, I'm sorry, we should do away with that act. And they said, what do you mean? I said, what we need is to have every person who wants an animal should have a test and get a license that they qualify. And a lot of people phoned up and agreed with what I said. So let me just qualify. You might be sitting there, so what are you talking about, Trevor? It's rubbish. Well, hang on a second. Look, there are a lot of dogs out there and pets which are abused by their owners and neglected. And neglect is abuse, by the way. So what I'm saying is that if someone wants an animal, look, first of all, they're going to have to pay for all the medical checks. They've got to, their place should be looked at. Where's the dog going to be kept? What's the level of care or the amount of time that animal is going to be left on its own? All these things should be taken into account. They should not be living on the street. I'm sorry, but animals shouldn't. I'm not saying they're loved any less or any more, but you really are thinking about the welfare of animals. Then I think people should be licensed to have them. Then you'll get, because there are twits that walk around with really bad, pit bull terriers, and they want to macho up, and they think, hang on a minute, that dog's aggressive because you want it to be aggressive. When my daughter was small, the dogs would come and bark and say, it's all right, my dog is very nice. I don't know your bloody dog. Get it out my daughter's face. Because one bite like that, I don't get a second chance, and I'm not having it. So I'm not anti-pet. I know some of you might think I am not. But what I'm saying is that if we are moving towards where the government are going to say you will not be able to stop people taking tenancy, you'll not be allowed to say no pets. That's a dangerous place to be, because pets can be destructive, can be very messy if the owners don't look after them. So it's really interesting that this paper that they got, well-behaved pets, who qualifies them? I'd love your comments, guys. Put your comments down. How will you qualify if a pet is good or not? I don't know, but isn't it an interesting one? And imagine, there's no 2 ways about it. If your pet is in your house, it creates a smell. It just does. Don't argue with me on that one. It does. It's like a smoker. A smoker never smells it when they walk in. If you got pets, you say there's no smell. There is. There is. I've lived with pets. I've lived without pets. You walk in, there's a smell. All right? It just is. So when someone goes, who pays to redecorate? I'm sorry, but I don't want to go in. If I don't want to go, if I have to rent somewhere, I don't want to go and rent where someone's been smoking in there. I'm going to have to paint and everything else. It's cannabis, and listen, the test is the cannabis places where they cook cannabis and grow it and everything else they do in it. If you ever buy one of those properties, and maybe you'll know some people in property, you have to take out the floorboards. You have to wash everything down and redo everything because the smell impregnates everything. I bought 2 houses next door to each other. The guy had cats for over 30 years in that property. The cat had weed and everything in one of the bedrooms, and it was up the wall and everything. We ripped out the floorboards because there's no way we're going to get rid of that smell. So as landlords, where do you sit? I'm making a case for landlords because there's this movement now making a case, you have to take my pet. Well, hang on a minute. A well-behaved pet is like the get out of jail clause, but who decides if your pet is well-behaved or not? I haven't got a clue. It makes me smile because it is like the thin end of the wedge coming in and do it. But listen, guys, that's the pet thing. Sorry, I'm going on a little bit longer. Second thing, service accommodation. So who is it? It is Short-Term Accommodation Association, STAA. Sounds a bit like a disease, but they have made some comments, and it's really interesting that they are now saying that they are wanting to see more short-term lets allowed in other places. So let's take London, and it's just a question. By reading a report from them, they want, because of the lockdowns, because of people moving and not wanting to go in hotels, and very much hotels and guest houses are being shut down. So unless they are highlighted for certain groups of people, they're not being able to work. So service accommodation is suddenly the flavour of the month, because now people can go in there, they're sort of self-contained and that's it. But the question is, and they haven't quite asked it, I think they're sort of alluding to it, what will London do? At the minute, London has an SA, service accommodation rule, that you can only do it for 90 days in a year. And the best example that I can give you is Wimbledon. When Wimbledon comes on, before and after, not 90 days, but people move out of their homes and they get rents that pretty much pay their mortgage for the rest of the year. It's crazy money. So, you know, what's going to happen with service accommodation? Are we going to see London lift these restrictions? And you know, I'd love to know if you're doing service accommodation in London, or you live in London and you want to know more. Look, start a bit of a chat with me, put some comments, and you know, give me your arguments. Do you think people are going to talk about it? Have you heard anyone else talking? If you work for councils in London, let me know. It'd be great to understand what's going on. All right, but will they let loose service accommodation in London? That is the question. And if they do, that could be really, really good. I know that Leslie Towell, myself, would be coming to London to look to do some SA there and do it really well. Just a quick interlude, and that is, I've seen the investment start. So, very much in depressions, financial economic depressions, I've been saying this for months now, is the government that kickstart the changes. So if you go back to 1927, the Hoover Dam came out of that. Many major things, airports, housing estates, loads of things came out from the Depression, because it was called the New Deal by Roosevelt, and very much they had to kickstart it, the economy, and that's what they did. I'm already seeing this. I am absolutely amazed what the government's doing. There's a lot of things they don't get credit for, but I'm already seeing large investments in Leeds, Sheffield and Birmingham, all, you know, starting. Yes, they've been in planning for a while, but they're all getting kick-started. The money's coming through, and there's massive investment going on starting now. HS2, I think, is going to get going soon. And this is something which is government-backed, and is going to make a huge difference to the economy, and that's going to help us recover. So, you know, hats off. I think that's a really, really good one. Now, I'm going to leave the stamp duty until the next video, and I'm going to catch up with that, because I've taken too long, probably about pets and things like that. Listen, it's a bit controversial. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I look forward to seeing you. Have a great week. Please comment, subscribe, share this video. Have a wonderful week. God bless you. Bye-bye.